Euphoria, the series finale. Yep, it has happened. It has came and went. Our Ruby Bennett, Ruby. All I can really say is, Zendaya, you played that part. You played that role of Rue for all these seasons and all these years. Oh my gosh. If you need a spoiler warning, this is it. Let's get into Euphoria series finale, season 3, episode 8. Wow. Okay, y'all. In God we trust. Euphoria season 3, episode 8, series finale. The series is now complete. We got our ending to Euphoria. That thing was like, what, an hour and 30-something minutes of just, oh my gosh, like, my anxiety was through the roof. Like, it started off, basically, it picked up right where we left off in the last episode. Old girl yelling out, waking up her man when they was in the safe. So, Rue tore that leg up and took off running. Child, she had to get up out of there, and clocks her right on her nose and bust that big old bubble lip. Just, it was too much. It was a lot. But Marshawn Lynch, whatever his character name is, he came through, and after old boy had lassoed Rue up on the horse, he got him in that good shoulder and was like, hey, Rue, get up and run. Let's get it. But as we see, of course, as we see throughout the whole thing, Alamo already had his plan put together. Because first of all, Rue ain't even really getting nothing out that doggone safe. Did she? Yeah, she ain't really getting nothing out that safe. So for him to pay her, like, all that whole little scene was sketch. Because, yeah, I felt like she didn't get nothing out that safe. It was basically just a whole little setup. Because as we seen in previous episodes, Maddie already went to Alamo and eased in that whole little DEA thing. He sent old boy and one of Lori dudes off to Mexico. Like, all that was, I don't know. Everything was so sketch and was basically leading up to a setup. So, we know Alamo, from his backstory, he don't trust no woman. And his whole mission was to never let a woman ever play him again. So, I honestly felt like everything was just a setup for Rue for everything to happen like it happened. Oh, my gosh, y'all. As y'all see, I'm kind of distraught. I'm devastated. Bump it. We about to just go ahead and dive deep about Alamo. When Rue got back and he told me something, oh, you like you in physical pain, popping open the Coca-Cola bottles. Like, I already knew. Like, Alamo, Alamo did not let that whole DEA nugget that Maddie gave him slip by. He didn't. So for Marshawn Lynch to come back with the money, hand it to Alamo, and Alamo like, you did good. Get you some rest. Get you a week rest. You did good. And then gave her the pills, and then to put into her to trust him, he took one of the pills himself. And Rue was like, she was second guessing it. Was like, man, I used to love these and all this stuff. And then, so he gave her the whole bottle. Rue. I just knew it was some type of setup. But I knew that she has been clean. And it was just something in me just kept saying, Rue, you clean. Just fight through the pain of, she went to the doctor and got her hands sewn up. She had bumps and bruises. She was tore up from the flow up from being drugged by the horse and all that stuff. So it was like, oh my gosh, fight through the pain. Don't do it. Don't trust it. It's Alamo. It's Alamo. Oh my gosh. So Alamo gave our girl Rue a little break and some money and some pills and sent her on her way for her to, of course, go confide into Ali, crash on his couch and talk to Ali and everything. And he was like, yes, this couch is always yours. And We see she's laying on the couch, enduring the pain, keep rubbing her hand and all this stuff, and just, just dealing. And of course, she pulls the bottle out, and from that scene, she just sits it on the table. Then, now, what kind of did break my sadness was rest in peace, Angus Cloud. Of course, rest in peace, Angus Cloud. But what broke my sadness was seeing Fezco break out of jail doing parkour. They had nerve to have a surveillance camera of him doing parkour up that wall. Listen, I holler because he was dead serious. He told Rue he was gonna get out of there by doing some parkour, and they had whatever actor to play Fezco do some parkour up that wall, y'all. I screamed, and for for Rue to be like, "Oh, I said if he ever get out, I'm gonna go pick him up," and for her to run out that house and try to go find him, child, it was basically like a walk through her life, like memories. Then they had the flashback scene of Rue and Fezco in the field, smiling, holding each other, which was also kind of another inkling to me. I'm gonna let y'all know, I did not get that it was a dream sequence right off bat. I really thought she ran out that door to try to go find Fezco. But also, we know really in reality, we was not going to see Fezco because that actor, of course, is not here with us anymore. So I was like, I know they not finna show no Fezco in the TV show. So that right there, like, ugh. So for her to run out the door, go past the little store that her and Fezco used to be at, try to get down the alleyway to, I guess, his house, but she ends up at her house. And for her to peek around this corner and see her mama, and basically her mama embraces her. And that's where we knew that this was a dream sequence, because it flashes back to Rue laying on that sofa, can't breathe, reaching up in the air, Lord. Y'all, I have never been so attached to a character. And this was definitely a wild ride. My girl Rue. And that was it. And then for the scene to just flash back to like basically reset to Ali waking up in the morning and walking into the living room and realizing that Rue wasn't moving or whatever, seeing the bottle on the table, and then to test the contents of that bottle for fentanyl or whatever. And it was like, it upset him. And yeah, it was tough. Like, this was our girl Rue's demise. Basically, that this was her ending. As much as I really wanted her to have this happy ending, she'd been clean. She'd been, of course, still doing Rue type stuff. But she was, I guess, making it through. Reading her Bible, listening to her Bible and all this stuff. Just trying to find a way. But I honestly feel like she was really in a lot of physical pain that she probably felt like one would not have hurt her. But not knowing what Alamo had did to those pills, that, yeah, it actually indeed hurt her. So rest in peace to Rue Bennett. Goodbye to Rue Bennett. Great job, Zendaya. You did that. You played that part. That's all I can really say. Like, Zendaya, you played that part. I can honestly say I did not see Zendaya the person. I saw Rue Bennett, the character, throughout all these seasons. So Euphoria, y'all did it. Okay, stay tuned for part 2. All right, part 2. Go back and watch part 1 of my Euphoria series finale recap. All right, so we talked about Alamo and Rue and our thoughts about that. Now let's talk about everybody else and how all of their stories were tied up. All right, let's dive into it. So we see the DEA do the big bust at Lori house. Lori said, I ain't going to jail. We see she jumps off the roof. We see her minions get taken off. They going to jail. And then Big Lips and her boo rode off into the sunset on the horse. Now, I was like, hey, when he was on that toilet bowl and he told me something, this a setup. And they looking all crazy. Baby, they hauled tail. He trying to call him on the walkie-talkie. Baby, he wasn't answering. They had got up out of there. He said, oh, I ain't going down. Come on, baby. Let's get up out of here. Them riding down that road on that horse. And then rolled right past the ambulance. So, I don't even understand why they didn't even peep that. Like, why they riding down the dirt road and on a horse? Then next thing you know, yeah, they were surrounded. Kadeem Hardison, what's his character name? Big Eddie. The DA was like, tell Alamo we can't wait to meet him. Kadeem Hardison told me, y'all tell him himself because I quit. I'm sick of this. His stomach already toe up. He getting stopped by the DEA. Got to go across the border and all this stuff. That man said, I've had enough. This is it, honey. Cassie and Maddie sitting at the diner looking tore up from the floor up. After everything that happened with Nate and Alamo and all that stuff, Maddie is now in debt to Alamo. So she's sitting there looking crazy like, what do I do? Like, I now owe this man $1 million. What are we going to do? Hey, Cassie, we got to keep working. So it was basically like Cassie's turn to try to comfort Maddie and all this stuff. Let's rewind to the ambulance vans actually being switched. For the DEA to pop up that floorboard and see nothing but a rat up under there, Alamo. Oh my gosh. I'm like, Alamo, he was one step ahead. Especially after Maddie gave him that little DEA nugget. His antennas went up. He like, let's do a little something. So Alamo had them ambulance vans switch, honey. Got his product and stuff, and of course he took care of Rue, as we see and we talked about in part 1, and that was just crazy. It was like, okay, Alamo, he gonna stay one step ahead. And of course, at the end of all, he got Lori out the picture. He ain't got to worry about Lori no more, so he handled his business. He was about sick of her anyway, so by Lori, he got the product, the money, he got everything to himself now. He ain't got to worry about Lori and her minions. He ain't got to worry about Rue. We know what he did to Rue. Let's keep going. Let's keep recapping this. So part 1, I told y'all how I hollered at Fezco doing parkour up that wall. Now, if that's our ending to Fezco's story, that he escaped, baby, then I'm okay with that. Fezco did parkour up that wall and got out of jail. So that's a good ending to his character. Jules, we see she's painting Rue after we find out that Rue passes. Jules is still living in her bubble wrap up in that high rise painting. So we see her get emotional and she's mourning Rue. So we see her paint Rue on the painting. That was beautiful. A nice little, memoriam to Rue. Cassie keeps her house, and from what I understand, what she was telling Lexi is that they plan on, recruiting some other girls for this influencer lifestyle OnlyFans thing, and she gonna charge room and board for her and Nate's house, charge room and board for the girls to rent out the rooms and do their content, and her and Maddie get paid to keep the bills going. And I also still like that Lexi did not, join up on her sister. Her sister basically was like, come on, we need a storyteller, and you the best storyteller I know, showing her all the money they got and all this stuff. But Lexi was like, no, you know what, I'm gonna find my own way. I'm still gonna, still venture out on my own path. So we see Lexi still gonna do her own thing. Cassie and Maddie, they doing their stuff. And we also see that no one knows that Nate is gone. So I guess they just hid the body away and they just think Nate ran off or disappeared. Because Lexi is like, do you miss him? Do you think he's going to come back? Like, what's up? Where's Nate? And then we see in the end when Lexi leaves the house and Maddie leaves the house, Cassie is sitting there staring at their wedding photo, mourning Nate, because it's a secret that I guess she's going to have to keep for the rest of her life, that she knows the truth about what really happened to her husband, and Nate is gone. And now her house is going to be, you know, what is it, a little TikTok house, a little influencer house, OnlyFans house, whatever. Now, let's bring it on round to Maddie, of course, has to work for Alamo. So, what's his name? Come pick Maddie up and take her to the club where she have a meeting with Alamo. Alamo sitting there basically like, you know, what is all this for? I want to build a legacy too. And he basically was looking at Maddie like, let's have some babies. Let's get married. You a boss. I mean, I always knew that Alamo seen the boss lady in Maddie. So I really did not know what kind of work he was going to have her do to pay him back. But hey, he was like, boss lady, whatever, the best CEO on earth. He basically was like, he wanted to get with Maddie and they just be together, get married or whatever, and have some kids. And I'm like, Lord, Maddie, your life is ruined because you're going to have to be with Alamo for the rest of your life. He wanted churn. My boy, Ali. Ali. So Ali. He was set out on a mission to make the world a better place. After losing so many of the youth that he mentored and counseled and tried to help get over their addiction, and losing so many of them, Rue was the final straw. And he said, nah, I gotta do something about this one. He got in that suit, baby, in that uniform, and had that bag over his shoulder. He locked them up in that club, and he had to do what he had to do. And he let them know why he was doing it. Rue sent me. I'm here for Rue. Marshawn Lynch, yeah, that was hilarious. He told you don't lie to him. You lied to him. He had to do what he had to do. Blew you on the stage, baby. I said, Ali. I know that's right. And so my take from the whole thing, especially, and I'm happy that Maddie was there to also witness Ali saying, oh, I'm here for Rue. And Alamo like, okay, so you here for, you know, basically a little revenge. Alamo always seen himself as a cowboy. So that whole little standoff, 1-2 draw. And for him to draw before the bottle hit the floor and to realize nothing was in your weapon of choice, I was like, oh, he set him up, y'all. I stood up screaming. I said, he set him up. Oh my gosh, that was so good. Okay. Now, let's just recap. Let's recap. And we know Ali killed Alamo. Let's recap. What's the character? I got to get his name. Bishop. You got to call him by his name. Bishop always looked at Rue. And he questioned Rue. Like, why are you here? It's something about you that gives me the heebie-jeebies. He always just had this question mark over Rue's head. And in the end, I felt like he realized, oh, Rue was here to free us all. Rue was here to save us by way of Ali. And for Bishop to handle his business and give Alamo an empty weapon and let Ali do what he had to do, and then to, hey, may God be with you. In God we trust. I said, Bishop. And I think it was when Ali said that he here for Rue. Rue sent him. Bishop just knew, like, oh, yeah, he was dead wrong for what he did to Rue. It was just something. I felt like Bishop always just had, like I said, a question mark over Rue's existence. Rue's existence. Why she's there. Why, like, who are you? And the story about the snake. And then for this scene where Bishop was in the hallway with the snake and all this stuff, it was like, oh, okay, Bishop, you did what you had to do. They're all free. They're all free. And for Maddie I like that, like I said, that for Maddie to witness that Ali came to save them. He was there for Rue. And for her to witness that she's free also. You ain't got to have Alamo babies now, Maddie. You don't have to marry Alamo and have your babies. You can go off and just be the OnlyFans manager that you was destined to be. Oh, Bishop. Great job. You did that. You did that. And then it dropped the little bullets on the floor. Oh, Woo! I was hyped. And he told the other boy, hey, I got this. He handled it too. Yeah, Bishop did his thing, and we are free of Alamo. So I loved that the big bad wolf was taken down by Ali. Then for Ali to end it in the episode, in the series, being our hero, getting his revenge for Alamo, killing Rue, and ending up at the place. Oh, and when he called Rue his daughter, when he made his way to the farm, he said, hey, my daughter said this was the most peaceful place on earth. And of course, we see he also did not go by Ali. He gave a different name. And of course, the daughter at the farm was like, oh, Ruby? And he was like, she's in a better place. Oh my gosh. So that was beautiful. That was a beautiful scene for Ali to make his way to the farm where Rue talked so highly about. And my theory was that Rue was going to make her way back there and live out a sober, clean life there. And then for also to see the scene when Ali is at the barn and the little girl comes and say, oh, she just had her calf, it's a miracle, she just had her baby a couple months ago, basically kind of putting it around the time where Rue passed, was also another thing for Ali. So that was beautiful. And then the prayer, I was crying. I ain't gonna hold you, I was at the table crying with them, holding hands. So that was awesome. So I liked that scene. That was a good scene to end it all with Ali going back to the farm where Rue talked so much about. She had the address written down on the paper. Ali had the address and he found it. So I loved it. So tell me your thoughts. I can't wait to talk about this with the girls in the group chat. But comment down below. Tell me what you thought about the series finale. What you thought about Ali being our hero. What you thought about Rue's death scene. Everything. Let's talk about it in the comments. And also let me know what you're watching. Peace.